Hello, and welcome back to Sarah English. I am so happy you are here with me today. Whether you are listening to this while commuting, cooking, walking, or just lying on your bed with your earphones in, I see you, and I am glad you chose to spend this time with me. Today's episode is a little different. Today, I want to talk about someone you almost certainly already know. Someone whose face you have probably seen on YouTube even if you have never clicked on his videos. Someone who has given away millions of dollars, built schools, planted trees, and fed hundreds of thousands of people. And someone whose story is absolutely packed with English lessons, vocabulary, idioms, expressions, all the things we love here on Sarah English. I am talking about MrBeast. Yes, Jimmy Donaldson, the most subscribed individual creator on YouTube in the entire world. Now, before you say, Sarah, what does MrBeast have to do with learning English? Just stay with me, because by the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with at least 10 powerful English words, 5 idioms that native speakers actually use, and a story that I think will genuinely change how you think about ambition, consistency, and language learning. So let us begin. Part 1. Who is MrBeast, and why does everyone know him? If you have been on the internet at any point in the last 5 years, you have seen MrBeast thumbnails. A young man with a shocked face, huge text behind him, and something absolutely wild happening. Maybe he buried himself alive for a week. Maybe he gave a stranger a private island. Maybe he opened a free restaurant and served food to anyone who walked in, no questions asked. His real name is Jimmy Donaldson. He was born in 1998 in Kansas, in the United States. He started his YouTube channel when he was just 13 years old. 13. And for years, almost nobody watched him. He made video after video, and the views were tiny. He spent hours every single day studying why some videos went viral and others did not. He analyzed successful creators the way a scientist studies data. Now, here is our first vocabulary word for today. The word is analyze. To analyze something means to study it carefully and in detail in order to understand it or to find out what it is made of. For example, she analyzed the poem line by line to understand its meaning. Or, MrBeast analyzed thousands of YouTube videos to understand what made them successful. He did not just watch videos. He broke them down. He took notes. He asked why. That kind of deep, careful thinking, that is what it means to analyze something. And here is something I love about this word. When you're learning English, you should also analyze the language. When you hear a sentence that sounds natural and beautiful, do not just let it pass. Stop. Analyze it. Ask yourself, why did the speaker use that word and not another word? Why is the sentence structured that way? What feeling does it create? Analyzing the language you hear and read is one of the fastest ways to improve. Part 2. The years nobody was watching. MrBeast started his YouTube channel in 2012. His first viral moment did not come until 2017. That is 5 years of making videos that almost nobody watched. 5 years of showing up, pressing record, editing, uploading, and starting again. I want you to sit with that for a moment. 5 years. Most people quit after 5 weeks. Some people quit after 5 days. He kept going for 5 years. And that brings us to our next word, persistence. Persistence means continuing to do something even when it is difficult, and even when you're not seeing results yet. A person who keeps going despite challenges is called persistent. For example, Learning English requires persistence. There will be days when you feel confused, frustrated, or like you're not improving. But if you stay persistent, the results will come. Here is a beautiful idiom that connects perfectly with this idea. To stay the course. It means to continue doing something difficult until you reach the end or until you achieve your goal. You do not change your path. You do not give up. You stay the course. Native speakers use this all the time. A manager might say to their team, "This project is hard right now, but we have to stay the course." A doctor might say to a patient, "Continue taking your medication. Stay the course, and you will recover." For English learners, I want you to use this idiom this week. Think about your own English journey. Every time you feel like giving up, remind yourself, "I am going to stay the course. I have a destination. I am not stopping until I get there." MrBeast stayed the course for 5 years. And then in 2017, everything changed. Part 3. The video that changed everything. In 2017, MrBeast posted a video where he counted to 100,000 out loud, on camera, by himself. It took over 40 hours of filming. The video was called Counting to 100K, and it went absolutely viral. Millions of people watched it, not because counting to 100,000 is impressive, but because people were fascinated by his commitment, by the sheer, almost crazy, dedication to do something no one had ever done before. That word, dedication, is our next vocabulary word. Dedication means the quality of being completely committed to something. It means giving a lot of your time and energy to something because you believe in it deeply. For example, her dedication to her studies paid off when she passed her exam with top marks. Or, his dedication to the craft of filmmaking was clear in every scene. Notice the phrase, dedication to something. You are dedicated to a goal, a person, a job, a dream. Not dedicated for. Not dedicated in. Dedicated to. That preposition matters. So practice. I am dedicated to learning English. I am dedicated to becoming fluent. I am dedicated to showing up every single day. After the counting video, MrBeast's channel exploded. He grew from a few thousand subscribers to millions in a very short time. And once he started making money, he did something that shocked everyone. He did not buy a car. He did not buy a house. He put almost everything back into making bigger and better videos. Part 4. The moral story. The boy who planted what he harvested. Now I want to share a small story with you. A moral story. One that connects to MrBeast's philosophy of giving. Once there was a young farmer named Eli. Eli lived in a small village where the soil was rich, but the people were greedy. Every harvest season, the farmers would take as much as they could from the land, but they would give nothing back. They would not replant. They would not water the roots. They only took. For a few years, the harvests were good, but slowly, the soil grew tired. The crops became smaller. The rivers dried a little, and the people grew worried. But Eli did something different. Every time he harvested, he planted twice as many seeds as he took. He watered the ground. He shared his food with families who had nothing. His neighbors laughed at him. "Eli," they said, "you are a fool. You give everything away. You will have nothing left." But Eli smiled and said, "The more I give to the earth, the more the earth gives back to me." 10 years passed. The other farmers' fields were dry and lifeless. But Eli's land was the most fertile in the whole region. People came from far and wide to buy his crops. His village prospered because of the seeds he had patiently planted. The moral of the story is simple. What you invest in grows. What you take without giving back withers. And MrBeast understood this before most people his age ever could. Now, let us pull some wonderful English vocabulary from this story. The word fertile means producing a lot of crops or plants. Rich land is fertile land. But we also use this word in a metaphorical way. A fertile mind means a mind that produces many ideas. A fertile environment for learning means a place where learning can grow easily. For example, she had a fertile imagination and could always think of new stories. Or, India is a fertile ground for English learners because the language is so present in daily life. The word prosper means to grow and develop successfully. When a business prospers, it becomes very successful. When a person prospers, their life improves significantly. For example, the company prospered after they hired the right people. And the phrase to wither means to dry up and become weak. Plants wither when they do not get water. Dreams wither when we do not act on them. Relationships wither when we stop putting effort into them. For example, her confidence began to wither after years of being told she was not good enough. Part 5. MrBeast and the Power of Generosity. Let us go back to Jimmy, because what he did next is one of the most extraordinary things in the history of online media. MrBeast started giving away money. Thousands of dollars, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands. He gave a stranger $100,000 in cash. He tipped a pizza delivery worker $10,000. He paid for strangers' groceries. He funded surgeries for people who could not afford them. He started a campaign called MrBeast Burger, and he donated proceeds to charity. In 2023, he partnered with organizations to restore eyesight to people around the world who had curable blindness but could not pay for the operation. His video helped restore the sight of over 1,000 people in multiple countries. He paid for all of it. When people asked him why he did it, he said something that became widely quoted. He said, "The goal is not to be rich. The goal is to make an impact." Our vocabulary word here is impact. Impact means a strong effect or influence. When you make an impact, you change something significantly. You leave a mark. For example, the teacher made a huge impact on her students' lives. Or, climate change is having a devastating impact on our oceans. And here is an important grammar note. We say make an impact, not do an impact, not give an impact. We make an impact. This is what we call a collocation, words that naturally go together in English. Native speakers do not think about collocations. They just feel them. But for learners, you need to study them deliberately. So, write this down. Make an impact. Create an impact. Have an impact. These are the verbs that go with impact. Now here is our next idiom. To go the extra mile. This is one of the most beautiful and useful expressions in the English language. To go the extra mile means to do more than what is required or expected. To put in additional effort because you genuinely care about the result. For example, the customer service team always goes the extra mile to make sure clients are satisfied. Or, if you want to be fluent in English, you have to go the extra mile. Listen more, read more, speak more than you think is necessary. MrBeast does not just make videos. He goes the extra mile in every single one. He spends months planning. He brings the best equipment. He hires enormous teams. He makes sure every video delivers more than people expect. And that is why people keep watching. Going the extra mile is not about working yourself to exhaustion. It is about doing just a little more than average, consistently. And that consistency over time is what creates extraordinary results. Part 6. What MrBeast teaches us about language learning. Now I want to bring this conversation directly to you. Because everything Jimmy did to build his channel, you can apply to your English journey. Let me walk you through this carefully. First, he studied obsessively. Before he became famous, MrBeast spent years watching and studying content. He did not consume it passively. He consumed it actively. He asked questions. He took notes. He was hungry for understanding. The word obsessively means in a way that you think about something constantly to a degree that can seem extreme. But there is a positive side to obsession when it is directed towards something worthwhile. For English learners, I want you to develop a small obsession with the language. When you hear a new word, do not just note it. Obsess over it a little. Use it in 3 sentences. Read it in context. Hear it spoken by different people. Let it live in your mind for a few days. That kind of deep engagement is what makes vocabulary truly yours. Second, MrBeast was not afraid to start badly. His early videos were low quality. His voice was nervous. His ideas were simple, but he published them anyway. He was willing to be a beginner. In English, we have a wonderful idiom for this: learning the ropes. To learn the ropes means to learn how to do a job or activity by doing it, often slowly and with mistakes at the beginning. For example, it takes a few months to learn the ropes at a new job. Or, I am still learning the ropes of English pronunciation, but I am getting better every week. When you are learning English, please give yourself permission to be in the learning the ropes stage. You are not supposed to be perfect right now. You are supposed to be learning. Every mistake is a lesson. Every awkward sentence is a step forward. Third, MrBeast reinvested everything. He put his money back into making better content. In English, the concept of reinvesting in yourself is powerful. Every hour you spend studying, every podcast you listen to, every English book you read, you are reinvesting in yourself. You are making yourself richer. Not in money, but in skill, confidence, and opportunity. The word reinvest means to put something you have gained, time, money, energy, back into the thing that produced it so that it can grow further. For example, she reinvested her profits into her small business, and within 2 years, it tripled in size. For you, reinvest the English you already know. Use the vocabulary you have already learned in new sentences. Revisit topics you studied before with fresh eyes. Your existing knowledge is a foundation you can build on. Part 7. 3 idioms to sound like a native speaker right now. I want to give you 3 idioms in this section that you can start using immediately. These are all expressions that native English speakers use naturally, and all 3 connect to the themes of today's story. The first idiom is, bite off more than you can chew. This means to take on more responsibility or work than you can actually handle. Imagine someone trying to eat a piece of food that is too big for their mouth. That is the image. Too much at once. For example, she tried to run 3 projects at the same time and bit off more than she could chew. Or, as a warning, don't bite off more than you can chew. Finish this chapter before starting the next one. This is useful for English learners who try to learn too many things at once. Focus is your friend. Do not try to learn 50 new words. Fix your grammar, improve your accent, and practice speaking all in the same week. Pick one or two things and go deep. The second idiom is, the ball is in your court. This comes from tennis. When the ball is in your court, it means it is your turn to do something. It is your responsibility to act. Someone else has done their part, and now you need to do yours. For example, I sent her the proposal. Now the ball is in her court. Or, I have given you all the tools you need to improve your English. The ball is in your court. I love this idiom because it is deeply empowering. It reminds you that your progress is in your hands. No teacher can learn English for you. No podcast can make you fluent if you only listen passively. You have to act. The ball is in your court. The third idiom is from scratch. This means from the very beginning, with nothing already done, with no help or foundation from before. For example, she lost all her files and had to rebuild the project from scratch. Or, MrBeast built his empire from scratch, starting with nothing but a camera, a bedroom, and a dream. When you say you are learning English from scratch, it means you are starting at zero. But from scratch is not a bad place to be. It is, in fact, the only honest place to begin. And every expert in the world started from scratch. Part 8. A word on fear and speaking. Let me be honest with you now. One of the biggest things that stops English learners from improving is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is fear. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of being judged. Fear of making a mistake in front of someone and feeling embarrassed. I know this feeling. I have lived it. Many people who are now fluent in English lived it too. But here is what I want you to understand. Every single person who speaks English fluently today was once at the stage where you are right now.
Every.
Single.
One.
The word for what you feel is vulnerability. Being vulnerable means being open to the possibility of being hurt, judged, or embarrassed, and doing the thing anyway. And vulnerability, in language learning, is not a weakness. It is actually the most important skill you can develop, because the moment you open your mouth and speak, even imperfectly, you are learning 10 times faster than the person who stays silent and only studies. MrBeast made this same choice. Every time he pressed record on those early videos, he was being vulnerable. He was saying, I might be terrible at this. I might be embarrassed, but I am going to do it anyway. And here is the idiom that captures this perfectly. Take the plunge. To take the plunge means to decide to do something difficult or risky, especially after thinking about it for a long time. For example, she had been thinking about moving abroad for years, and she finally took the plunge. Or, if you have been nervous about speaking English with strangers, take the plunge. Start today. One sentence. One moment of bravery. Take the plunge with English. Sign up for that class. Speak to that colleague in English. Write that email in English instead of your first language. Start that conversation. Take the plunge. Part 9. The lesson of compounding. There is a concept in finance called compound interest. It means that when you earn interest on your savings and then you leave that interest in the account, next month you earn interest on a slightly larger amount. It grows slowly at first, but over time, it becomes enormous. Language learning works the same way. In the beginning, progress feels painfully slow. You learn 10 words. You forget 7. You practice a conversation. You stumble over 3 sentences. It feels like you are not moving, but you are. Every word you encounter, even if you forget it, leaves a small trace in your brain. Every sentence you hear, even imperfectly, builds your ear for the language. And then one day it happens. You understand a sentence you never studied. You say something natural without thinking. You dream in English. That is compound interest at work in your brain. The word compound means to make something stronger or more severe by adding more of the same thing, or to increase in a growing way over time. When we say something compounds, we mean it builds on itself, growing bigger and bigger. For example, the effects of daily reading compound over time. One book leads to better vocabulary, which helps you understand the next book more deeply, which builds even richer vocabulary. MrBeast also understood compounding. Each video built on the last. Each subscriber told a friend. Each dollar he reinvested created more resources for bigger videos. He did not become a billionaire-level creator overnight. He became one because small efforts, consistently applied over many years, compounded into something massive. And your English is doing the same thing right now. You might not see it yet, but the compounding is happening. Part 10. Let us review and close. We are coming to the end of today's episode, and I want to quickly review everything we have covered together, because this was a rich one. Our vocabulary words today were: analyze, to study something carefully and in detail to understand it; persistence, continuing to do something even when it is difficult and progress is slow; dedication, being completely committed to something you believe in; fertile, rich and able to produce a lot, also used metaphorically for the mind and environment; prosper, to grow and develop successfully; wither, to dry up and become weak, to fade away; impact, a strong effect or influence; obsessively, in a way that you think about something constantly to a deep degree; vulnerability, openness to being hurt or judged, and choosing to act anyway; compound, to build on itself and grow larger over time. Our idioms today were: stay the course, to continue doing something difficult without giving up; go the extra mile, to do more than what is expected; learning the ropes, learning how to do something new by doing it slowly and with mistakes; bite off more than you can chew, to take on more than you can handle. The ball is in your court. It is your turn to act or decide. From scratch, from the very beginning, with nothing already prepared. Take the plunge, to do something difficult or risky after thinking about it for a long time. That is 10 vocabulary words and 7 idioms, 17 tools for your English in one single episode. Use them. Write them in a notebook. Make sentences with them today. Say them out loud, even if you are alone. Speaking to yourself in English is one of the most underrated practice methods there is. Now, before I go, let me leave you with this. MrBeast did not start out as the world's biggest YouTuber. He started as a 13-year-old kid with a camera, an idea, and a dream. He had no connections, no money, no audience. He failed over and over for 5 years. He was laughed at. He was ignored. He stayed the course. He went the extra mile. He built everything from scratch. And today, he has helped restore the eyesight of thousands of people who would have lived in darkness. He has given food, shelter, and joy to hundreds of thousands of strangers. He has created thousands of jobs. He has inspired millions of young people to believe that one person, with enough dedication and generosity, can actually change the world. Your English journey might feel small right now. It might feel quiet. It might feel slow. But I promise you, the seeds you are planting today are growing, even when you cannot see them. Stay persistent. Stay curious. Take the plunge. And I will see you in the next episode of Sarah English. Until then, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep going. This has been Sarah English. Thank you so much for being here.